Bill.
Hi Lingjian, how's everything doing?
Good, how are you? Have you prepared for the stat test tomorrow?
Oh, do we have a stat test? I haven't
Yes,
learned
we
for this
do.
yet. Let's
We do
review
have-
together.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. First thing we learn, I think, is variables.
Yeah, there are two variables. One is called categorical, which a categorical variable places an individual into one of several groups or categories. For example, your gender and your degrees.
Oh, and I remember the second one is called quantitative variables. A quantitative variable take a numerical value for which arithmetic operations such as adding and averaging make sense, like age and height. The second thing we learn is a graph, I think. There's a graph to describe categorical variables, right?
Yeah, there's two kind of graph. One is called pie chart, and this pie chart looks like this. And the second is called bar graph, and this is bar graph.
Oh, okay. And I remember too, if we want to describe a quantitative variable, we have to use two other graphs.
Yeah, they are called dot plot and stem plot. Can you draw them for me?
Oh yeah, sure. A dot plot is like you put dot here to describe how many in every distributions.
Yes.
And for the stem plot, like dot plot, but you are just put number on it, like 23, 24, 25, or 31, right?
Oh, that makes sense. That's easy to count numbers.
Yep. And the third thing I think we learned about frequencies.
Yeah, there are two frequencies. One is relative frequency and one is relative cumulative frequency.
Oh yeah, I remembered. If you want to describe a relative frequency, you have to draw a histogram to describe it.
Yeah, and this is a clear graph of distribution.
So it's just like a bar chart, but it have a frequency on it.
Yeah.
To 100%.
Yeah. And I know what graph should be used to describe relative cumulative frequency. It's called algebra, and it looks like this, and it's also to 100%.
But the differences between those two is, I think, algebras I add all the previous value together, right?
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay, good.
Bill, I think one of the most important things we have learned is the overall pattern of a distribution.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Good. There are three kind of factors to describe the overall patterns: the center, the spread, and the shape. For the center, we describe them by means, which is the average of all the variables, and we describe by medians, which is the middle number of all the variables. And for the spread, we describe them by range, which is a minimum and the maximum of all the numbers.
Yeah.
And we describe them by standard deviation, which we can see how close are they distributed to the center.
Yeah, and mostly they're straight shaped. One is called symmetry, it's like this, and the other is this is called skew to the right, and this is called skew to the left.
Yeah, and I remember that most of the symmetry, there's one of the symmetry graph is very significant. It's called bell shape. Oh, you're just drawing a bell shape.
Yeah.
And I remember there's seems like a 5 quantitative plot or whatever that's called. Oh yeah, a box plot.
Yeah.
In a box plot, we use the five numbers distributions. The first one is the median, and the second one is quartile 1, which is the median of the median and the median.
Yeah.
And we have the median in the middle, and we have the quartile number 3, which is the median of median and the maximum, and we have the maximum.
Okay, well, Bill, I have a question. What if there's a dot outside the modified box plot?
Oh yeah, then it's a modified box plot as you said, but the dot is outlier. Outlier means that this one is maybe some mistake in the experiment or just some really super guys.
Yeah.
So
do you remember the formula of the outliers?
Oh, of course. It's quartile 1 minus 1.5 times IQR. If x is smaller than that, this is an outlier. And for the second one, if x is greater than quartile 3 plus 1.5 times IQR,
then
it's
an outlier. Okay.
So Lingjian, what if we want to transform the data?
Well, if you transform the data, I think there's a formula. For example, if like the final data is x over 3 plus 5, which x is the original data, I think then the 5-number summary, which the minimum, quartile 1, median, quartile 3, and maximum, as well as mean, they will all follow this formula, which means divided by 3 and then add 5.
So how about the spreads, like standard deviation and the spread of the data?
Well, the standard deviation, the IQR, as well as separate, they won't add this 5, they only divide it by 3. Okay, I think that is the summary of chapter 1. I think we can get a good grade in tomorrow's test because we have reviews for that.
Yep.
Yeah.